contemplate, attempt, or complete suicide. So we really need to take the stigma away from this word. We need to put that word out there just as we use it as any other word. Mental illness, the biggest thing to do is to take the stigma out of it. It's okay. And if you're concerned about someone, the best thing to do is start a conversation with them. It is the first step in the QPR process for suicide prevention. Question, persuade, refer. Next slide. We're going to talk something about the risk factors. What are the risk factors? What makes one person more susceptible to think about suicide, contemplate, and maybe carry out a procedure versus another person? Some of the risk factors are depression, low self-esteem, mental illness, substance abuse or dependence, eating disorders, family history of suicide, self-mutilation, prior suicide attempts, a situational crisis, a loss of a loved one, a breakup, not getting into a program that maybe somebody worked really hard for. It's very important when you talk about suicide, when you talk to someone about suicide, although people try to be helpful, it is not helpful. Please do not say that depression or suicide or mental illness is a sign of weakness in your iman. It is not. A lot, if you take a look at these risk factors, is just an imbalance. It's a chemical imbalance in your body. It's a mental imbalance in your mind. It is sometimes a physical imbalance when you're just not feeling good. So please, 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 if you're talking to somebody who's going through something, don't make them feel worse than they already are feeling. Chances are they're already feeling bad about having these feelings, and you saying that their iman is weak and that they should just toughen up makes them feel worse. So just try to leave that out of the conversation. Warning signs. What are the warning signs that somebody is thinking about suicide? There are signs of depression, including feelings of pessimism, hopelessness, desperation, increased alcohol or drug use. Statements like, I'm better off dead, or there's no point to live, or, I don't think anybody will miss me if I'm not here. Also, one thing to really look at is giving away possessions. If the person's so happy, they're like, you know what? Why don't you have my most favorite book? They're giving away all the things that are dear to them. That may be a sign, a warning sign. Withdrawal or even an unexplained change from depression to optimism. A person who was so sad is suddenly very happy. And, sometimes that's misgiving. It's false hope. You think, oh, they were so depressed, but, they're doing so much better now. They're so happy. They're, going out meeting with people and they're sharing. And sometimes once the person has made the decision to commit suicide, they feel a sense of relief. And that sometimes, so you really need to know the warning signs. If there's a quick change or a drastic change in their demeanor, that could be another warning sign. So let's go to, what do you do? What do you do when you know that somebody had a loss, or somebody has an illness, or is going under pressure, or is starting to give away their possessions? It is okay to ask. The way you ask a person, you just ask them, hey, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Are you thinking about committing suicide? And if they say, well, I thought about it last week, then you can say, oh, really? And it's really important to stay calm and focused and talk about it, like normalize the process and just say, oh, if you thought about hurting yourself, did you have a plan? Did you think about how you were going to do it? And that is the telling part. Sometimes they'll be like, well, I don't really have a plan. I just, was thinking it's too much for me to handle. And that will tell you, okay, they're in a safer place. Or they could say, yeah, I thought about going home and taking a bottle full of pills. And then that will tell you that this is a little bit more serious of a situation. But asking somebody is not going to really hurt the situation. The way you ask them, you are. And also, please keep in mind, this is really important. Some people don't understand. Like, why would somebody want to hurt themselves? Why would somebody want to end their life? And a lot of times, when somebody has gotten this far to contemplating that, they don't want to end their life. They just want the pain that they are experiencing to stop. And that's what people don't understand. They don't want to kill themselves. They don't want to end their life. They just want to stop feeling the pain. And sometimes the only way they see of no longer feeling the pain is by not being here. So once you question the person, second thing is the P in the QPR: persuade. Talk to the person about getting help. Let them know, it looks like things are really tough right now. Maybe you could talk to somebody. Most companies have an EAP program, an employee assistant program that has free counseling sessions, not only for the employee, but most of the time for all the dependents of the employee. And those dependents can call the 1-800 number found on the website independently. So if an 80-year-old is thinking about suicide, doesn't really want to talk to the parents, they can call the EAP number themselves and go ahead and access services. So when you're having your next family meeting or you guys are getting over, together for dinner, find that information about the company you work with and make sure that the number is on the refrigerator and that all your kids know that, hey, if you guys ever need help, if you don't want to talk to me, but you feel like you want to talk to somebody else, go ahead and call this number. Give them the name of a couple of family members or friends that are adults that you trust and say, listen, there might be a time when you don't want to talk to me, but if you do need to talk to somebody, I have already talked to these friends. They will not come back and tell me that you spoke to them, but please reach out to somebody. And then the last uh, part of this process is refer the assistance. Offer in finding help with the local resource. Just don't tell somebody, you should look into your EAP. Sit with them. Say, how about we look into your EAP? Spend the 5 minutes to go online with them. Stay with them while they're making that call. The hardest thing is that they're so tired. They're so helpless. They're so not optimistic that they may not have the energy to follow through. So sometimes just being there to hold the person's hand, or if they're really having a breakdown, say, you know what? How about we go to the local hospital emergency room to get checked out? Treat this like a medical illness. If you were having severe cramps, you'd go to get checked out. Say, hey, maybe they can just do a quick evaluation and, just try to keep you safe. A lot of people are open to that and just don't tell them to go. Walk them over there, drive them there, wait in the corridor while they're having the appointment. That, I think, is the most important part, is that support, but it has to be non-judgmental. And if you are unable to do it, call somebody else who can do it. You don't want to jeopardize that situation. Prevention. So we've talked about what we can do when we think somebody is suicidal. And then we want to get to a place where we don't have to go there. So, prevention, promote and participate in events that raise awareness about mental health and suicide awareness. Talk about suicide. Have survivors come and share their journeys, their experiences. There are a lot of people. They can share, I was there. This is how I felt. I felt hopeless. This is what I did. This is what other people did. When people know that other people are going through these situations too, how they managed it, how they came on the other side, that gives them hope that they're not alone. Breaking the stigma. Learn as much as you can about mental illness, suicide prevention. Listening to this talk right now, that's a great start. Speak up, help break the barriers people may have about seeking help. If you're in a place and people are talking about suicide and, making judgmental comments like, oh, that's just, a man being weak and no Muslim would do that, say, hey, guys, let's not go there. Let's not judge. It can happen to anybody. It's okay. Share your story about seeking assistance helped you or someone you love. When my grandmother passed away, my nanny, a couple of years ago, I was a hot mess for 1 year. I, as a therapist, I, as an EAP counselor, I, as a case manager, have shared that story with countless people. So many people are like, yes, we heard about your nanny. But I share how hard it was for me to make that call, how life was just colorless after she went away, and how I recovered, and how I'm dealing with that, and how she's still a part of my life. People knowing that have told me, I'm so happy you're sharing that experience with me because this is the loss that I carry around with me. And not a lot of people understand that. So go ahead, and everybody's had a dark moment in their life. It doesn't have to be that dark, but just share how you got out of that dark moment. Use respectful language, see the person, not the illness, and refrain from avoiding the issue. A lot of people sometimes go back and, say, that person withdrew a little. They didn't call as much as they used to. And then check in and help others to stay connected. I really want to explain this part because a lot of people are very nice. A lot of people are very meaningful and they want to be helpful. But then they say things to people like, you know what? If you ever need to talk, give me a call. That's the hard part. When somebody is feeling so vulnerable and so tired, and they're so afraid that if they call you, you'll question them, you'll judge them. They don't want to make that call. So if you feel like somebody's pulling away, stay connected to them. Call them over. What are you doing? Come over for some chai. Hey, how about some social distancing? Hey, you want to get on a Zoom meeting? Hey, let's go ahead and do like a messenger meetup. Stay connected with others. Sometimes you have to take the initiative because, again, they might be at a place where they just don't have the energy. And keeping others connected, having a phone tree like we did back in the 80s when you would call around, randomly pick people in your circle that you haven't heard from in a little while. I actually did that today. I knew of somebody who was contemplating divorce pre-COVID. She has kids, and COVID really put a lot of pressure on her. And I remember to check in with her, and I said, how are you? Where are you? How's it going? She's like, it's tough. And then I went ahead and said, I'm here for you anytime, day or night, 24/7, and I will check back with you. Let's go to lunch. I did that myself today. So you really have to take the initiative and go a little farther with people, of course, according to their comfort zones. And then the last page, resource. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. We don't call it a hotline anymore, a lifeline. Not everybody is skilled in everything. You don't have to be an expert to help somebody. At the same time, if you know that you're not an expert, please don't try to go ahead and help them that way. Refer them to another source. Say, you know what, Mav has this great social services hotline. How about we call them? Or there's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It's available 24 hours a day. They speak in English, they speak in Spanish. Sit with them, would ask them what they would like. Would you like me to sit with you while you go ahead and give them a call? Let the professionals take over. But just knowing that there's someone there to care for them, saying things like, please don't leave. We would miss you. You are loved. You are seen. You are heard. You are wanted. Knowing that somebody is there that expects you to be there. These are the things that a person who is in that vulnerable state, that's what they really need to hear. And feel free to follow up with questions. We're doing this talk, and a bunch of questions may come after it. There might be some things that I didn't really explain that you would like some clarity on. So go ahead and send us your questions. There is no question that is stupid or irrelevant. I ask so many questions all the time. Trust me, ask anybody who knows me. I am constantly asking because I rather ask the question than not. So if you have any follow-up questions, if you want a presentation on something else, maybe we can concentrate on being mindful. Having a mindful life also is one of the protective factors from suicide. So we can go over that. And we are here for you as a resource. We're here for the community. I hope this talk has been helpful, and inshallah, may Allah help guide us in helping others to be safe and to feel loved and comforted.
Ameen, and thank you so much, Sister Tabassum Rahman, for like a valuable information. As I was saying before I started my program, that according to the data presented by World Health Organization, every 42nd a person dies of suicide. It means that if you were watching this presentation of 10 or 12 minutes, almost like 17 or 18 people have died in the world because of suicide. And this, unfortunately, this is not the virus, this is not a like a disease that cannot be prevented. The only thing that we can do is to get awareness ourselves, know the resources available. The slide that the Basum shared, the last slide, please take a snapshot of it and save this number on your refrigerators, on your phone, everywhere, in your notes. So if somebody needs it, or if you need it anytime, you have that number handy. Get yourself aware, and help us, like help everyone to have a healthy community, a better community, inshallah. And may Allah protect all of us, all of the families of going through this loss of suicide. In my circle recently, a boy committed suicide. Um, and although I only knew him like from a distance, but it hurts. It really hurts, and you cannot imagine the pain the family is going through, and his friends and his colleagues and his teachers. So it can be prevented. Nobody is alone. Everyone is loved. Just know the indications. Know like where you have to reach out, and always try to reach out. And as the Basum said, no question is like a dumb or a bad question. Ask questions. Check on your friends. Stay connected and stay safe. Thank you so much, Tabassum, for the presentation. Now I will have Sister Talba Hassan for her word of wisdoms. And Sister Talba, please tell us, like, of course, depression is one of the leading causes of killing oneself because of through suicide. What can we do to help ourselves if we are feeling depressed? How can we prevent those signs controlling our lives?
Yes. Assalamualaikum. Good evening, everyone. Tabassum, thank you very much. It was excellent. I learned some information, and that's good. That suicide prevention, you can Google it if you ever need it. So please, just remember that there is a lifeline, and hopefully, all of us will start thinking about checking in with our friends, checking in with our families. Following Tabasuma, she mentioned mindfulness. I will do a mindfulness exercise with you in a few minutes. I first would like to give you announcements about what's going on. The number one place to find announcements is www.darulnoor.org. And you can take your phone and just say you can just say Darul Noor website, and Google, hey Google, Darul Noor website, and it'll take you to our website. And the things that I'm going on over there posted, most of them are posted on the website. So please, uh, the website is a resource. So first, this coming Friday, we have Juma outside in Allah's garden here on earth, our grassy backside of the masjid. The prayers are at 12:30, 1:30, and 2:30. Please bring your prayer rug. Please wear. Ooh, see how I asked Google, and I had it on airplane, so we didn't have any interruptions. But Google is always listening. So excuse me. 12:30, 1:30, 2:30. Wear your mask. Bring your prayer rug. If you need a chair, you need to bring your chair, your folding chair, your lawn chair. Uh, there is no sharing of rugs. We're 6 feet apart. If you bring your son or daughter with you, they're 16 or older. They're big enough to be 6 feet away from you on their own rug. So no sharing of rugs. Those of you who have asthma and things like that, or getting up in the years, you wake up and you don't feel kind of good. At 1:30, it's live. We're gonna they tape it, and it's live as the imam is speaking. All right, you can go to the website, hit live stream, and it will come up, or you can hit over to the right hand corner, Facebook Live. You don't have to be on Facebook. Just hit Facebook Live and it will come up. All right. Just remember, if you're at home, you have to do 4 rakahs because you aren't really in the Juma congregation. We now have Fajr prayers and Isha prayers inside in the lobby. All right. And you might say, why can't we have them in the masjid, in the masala? That's because the CDC says we've got to clean the floor. We have to disinfect the floor every time we have prayer. So we're not ready quite yet to go back into our rugged masala. We also, the remaining prayers are outside in the parking lot, not in the parking lot, in the grassy um, yard behind the masjid. Unless there's bad weather, then they pray on the porch. I'd like to tell you about some things that are going on. Just like today, this is virtual. We're broadcasting each of us from our homes. We have virtual Sunday school. So now your kids can get up and learn about Allah, learn Arabic in their homes. You don't have to get them super dressed, get them out the door, get them in the car. You don't have to do that. We have virtual Sunday school. And if you go to our website and pull down the education tab, it will lead you to how to sign your child up for Sunday school. Every first Sunday at 3 p.m., if you know someone who is interested in learning about Islam, who's new to Islam, we have a Zoom meeting. It's called New Muslim Meet and Greet. Even if someone's just new to the neighborhood and just wants to find out what's Darul Noor all about, they can come to this Zoom meet and greet. I'm going to give you the Imam's email, who's in charge of this. Imam Abdul Ahad. It's just his name, Imam Abdul Ahad at darulnoor.org. All right, he runs that, and he usually posts things close to the time, but you can always email him and ask him to send you the Zoom for that. Every second and fourth Sundays, we have a food drive-through. If you know someone who's needy or you're needy, you're not working all the hours that you used to work, it's a crunch time stretching that dollar, then every second and fourth Sundays from 10 until noon, we give a box of free food. Now, the Saturday before the Sunday, we love it if you drop off rice, sugar, flour, cooking oil. These kinds of things are very, very the kind of things you always need to have in your kitchen. So please feel free to drop those off. If and the best time to do it is around prayer time. But if you need to drop it off at some other time, like Saturday mornings is a good time to drop it off, and the brothers will put the stuff inside when they arrive at work. I also every second and fourth Sunday at 2 p.m. from 2 to 3, just 1 hour, there's Toastmasters, and it's virtual now. And if you go on our website, there should be the information of who to contact for Toastmasters. You might say, Toastmasters. You know, when you go to weddings and whatnot, people stand there and they have a toast of grape juice and they say good words about someone. Well, Toastmasters helps you to learn to speak in front of an audience. So we have a Toastmasters here at Darul Noor. All right. So those are some of the major announcements, and I just want to do some public service announcements. All right. Census, the 2020 census. Did you fill out your form? All right. If you didn't, you just say, I won't say it, but you can Google a 2020 census, and it will take you to the government website. It only takes like 5 minutes to fill out that census form. You ask, why? Why should I fill out the census? Well, I'm going to give you 2 reasons. There's lots more, but the first 2. How many congressmen or congresswomen a state or county has depends upon the population. So we have to count the population. The more people in the state of Virginia, the more representatives we get in the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives is by population. The Senate, every state gets 2 senators. But how many representatives you get in Congress depends upon population. Second, federal funds. The more people that live in Prince William County and fill out that census form, the more funds that come to Prince William County from the government. This helps our schools, this helps our roads and basic infrastructure. So be counted. Fill out the form for the census. Next, November 3rd, November 3rd, November 3rd, we got to vote, all of us. You can check out vote.org, or it's better just go to Prince William County, pwc.vote, or well, pwcvote.org. Just put our county initials in front of it. And you can scroll down and check, are you registered? All right. You just have to put in your name, your address, and it will tell you, yes, you're registered and what your site is. If you want an absentee ballot, the same website, all right, you fill out the information and they'll send you an absentee ballot. But, you can vote early. Starting September 18th, it's already passed, so you can go tomorrow. 3 places in the county: Haymarket Gainesville Library, the main voting office, which is at 9250 Lee Avenue, Suite 1 in Manassas, or the DMV in Woodbridge. From 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday, and up till noon on Saturday, you can vote early. You can go vote tomorrow for the candidate of your choice. Even though I'm going to wait, I want to hear one or two debates. Even though I know who I'm going to vote for, I'm not going to tell you. I just want you to vote. But you can vote tomorrow if you so choose. All right. Now, in keeping with what Tabassum mentioned, one of her last things she mentioned about mindfulness. And I'd like to just spend a few minutes with you to practice mindful breathing. All right. Proper breathing helps with stress, anxiety, and negative emotions. We have studies that are indicating that it's a direct link. Our nasal breathing through your nose and breathing out through your nose, helps our cognitive functions. All right. Our brain can only go 5 minutes without oxygen. And the more oxygen, the more it functions better. In fact, they say that nasal breathing is like a remote control for our brains. All right. So get comfortable in your chair or where you're at, and let's close your eyes and let's breathe with me. Aleph, Lam, Aleph, Lam, Mim. Aleph, Lam, Mim. Breathe through your nose. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. When you breathe, fill your chest and stomach like a balloon. Exhale, release that carbon dioxide that your body doesn't need. Breathe in the oxygen that will go to our lungs and then to our brains. Our brains need oxygen. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in, it calms our mind. Breathing in replenishes the vital oxygen in our brains. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in through our nose helps lower our blood pressure. Bismillah. I seek refuge in Allah from anxiety and grief. I seek refuge in Allah from lack of strength and laziness. I seek refuge in Allah from cowardliness and stinginess. I seek refuge in Allah from being overpowered by debt and the oppression of men. My Lord, supply me with what is lawful, what is halal, to keep me from what is prohibited, what is haram, and make me free from want of what is besides thee. Ameen. 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes when you're ready to do so. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Go in peace.
Walaikum assalam, and thank you so much, Sister Talba, for your valuable exercising tip, all the information about the activities that are going on virtually or in person at Darun Noor. And I hope everyone stays safe and take care of themselves. We will be back, inshallah, on October 7th. Same time, October is the Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So October will be the session, both the sessions we will be covering an outreach on domestic violence. Get yourself the know-how of helping somebody if you see someone going through tough times around you and being a victim of domestic violence. Stay safe, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Take care of people around you. As the Basum said, keep checking on each other uh, and stay safe, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, Basum. Once again, assalamu alaikum.